What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with another Pet Shop Wednesday, which again, I will try to make a thing on as many of the coming Wednesdays as possible, even if there may be an occasional skip. But yes, we're continuing with Relentless 1993. Thank you again to Seb and all the folks who've been commenting on and making suggestions for the Pet Shop Boys deep dive. We're jumping over Forever in Love because I did react to that as part of the bonus tunes that Seb had put into the folder for Very. And the next one that I've not reacted to is KDX 125, an alphanumeric string. If there is a specific reference here, I am not familiar with it. But yes, it sounds like a serial number, something that you give to a particular artifact in a line of them. It also sounds a bit sci-fi. It reminds me of some different things in George Lucas's world, which is to say, it reminds me of the, TK-421, the Stormtroopers serial number in A New Hope, or Star Wars as it was originally called. There's also, what's the film, like THX something? I think it has Robert Duvall. It was like before Star Wars. It's a crazy film. But yes, it reminds me a bit of that title as well. But yes, maybe there's something very specific here going on. If there is, I'll try to catch it as I can, but I'm not familiar with it at the start, so let's give it a listen. This is Pet Shop Boys. This CD shouldn't be here. Don't worry about it. It was my previous reaction. And this is KDX 125. I love that synth line. Very bleepy. Dark and funky here. the Doppler sound of those. I love it, first of all. Second of all, there's a lot of different flavors over the course of that track. I'm going to guess 7 minutes? Yeah, about 6.5. But they all work together well. Like, the sequencing was really nice. And, like, just in terms of, like, the synth lead, we heard some different things. Like, the main one, or the first one, which does come back a couple times, is very trancey. Like, it feels like early 90s trance melody. And then there's that more, I don't know if jazzy is the right word, but it has a bit of a jazzy feel to it. Then there was the very computerish, bleepy one, like computer language type of sound. Then toward the end we get this organ, almost like gothic style keyboard line, which really did feel gothic because it was mixed with that like bell, which, you know, just suddenly like changed the vibe. So the lower end of the track, like growling and prowling, very like deep and gurgly type of bass. I enjoy the percussion flourishes. There's like those hand drum type sounds. There was like a snare or like a drum flourish. There was a point where there were claps, but, you know, not just a clap every other, but they were these like double and triple flourish claps. And yeah, the way it all stitched together, the sequencing from one section to the next, and the evolution and cycling through of those synth leads was really, really compelling. So yeah, I love it. It's a kind of tune where it felt like a mini mix. Like, it felt like, you know, we had like 3 or 4 different track snippets that were stitched together in a way that was not only seamless, but it was kind of a journey, like sonically, to go through. Very danceable, very, you know, dance floor. We're all just kind of feeling it. Obviously an instrumental, so TDX 125, if there is a reference happening here, maybe it's like a keyboard or like a particular synth kit. Either way, the essence of the title is less important when it's an instrumental. Though in some cases, you know, if it's like a phrase of actual words, you can say, oh, okay, well, I kind of felt that, you know, in this or that sonic element. But here, I imagine if there is a specific reference, it's about like the composition of the tune. In any case, a very enjoyable track. I especially like a couple of those synth leads. The bass line, again, very dynamic and heavy and growling for a lot of the tune. And so, yes, in terms of the composition and the chronology, A plus for me. Do let me know what you think. Once again, shout out to Seb for providing this on short notice, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.